Good evening, everyone. It's that time of the week. Yes, live in the Hive. It's Sunday. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm with you for the next half an hour. So if you love your theatre, please don't go anywhere. We've got some news, we've got interviews, we've got a little bit of backstage gossip as well for you coming up on tonight's show. Big hello to all of those watching on the I Love Manchester Facebook page, the iconic city brand dedicated to community and culture. Or you might be watching on the Live in the Hive Facebook page. So hello and welcome if you're new. If you've seen the show before, if you haven't, then I am Michelle Eagleton. So yes, what have we got in store for you this week? Well, I've got to say, if you are a fan of family entertainment, you are going to love my next interview because I am talking to the one and only Gruffalo in the flesh. Can you believe it? Aaron Dart-Munro is going to be joining me. He's currently touring in the stage production of the iconic book, the children's classic, and it's currently wowing audiences at the Lowry. Alongside that, we have got a Greater Manchester Theatre News special. So we've got some behind the scenes footage from a brand new musical called Identical. You are going to love some of that. And we've got some of the songs from the show. We're also going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race Series 3, Road, the Jim Cartwright classic, which is coming to Oldham Coliseum, and the Glass Menagerie. We've got a lovely interview with the director of that production, which is winging its way to the Royal Exchange very, very soon. So lots of things to look forward to this week. So as I say, do stay with us. We are in for, well, I'd like to say a bit of a cracking show. All right, well, let's kick that show off. As I said, I have been talking this week with somebody that my children were very jealous that I was talking to. Now, he wasn't dressed in his costume, but my goodness, when you see the costume, you will know why kids and adults are loving this show just as much as they loved the book. I'm talking, of course, of the Gruffalo. And as I said, it's currently on at the Lowry in Salford. I caught up with the Gruffalo himself. And before I actually reveal that interview, let's take a look at the trailer and catch up with the action.
A mouse took a stroll through the deep, dark wood.
I'm not afraid of the deep, dark wood!
All right.
What exactly would we be having for lunch?
Lamb, chicken.
And don't forget mouse.
It's terribly kind of you, Fox, but no.
Huh?
I'm going to have lunch with the...
Gruffalo! Gruffalo! A Gruffalo? Ay, 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 ay. What's a Gruffalo?
A Gruffalo? Why didn't you know? His eyes are orange, his tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. There's no such thing as a Gruffalo.
Well, there is such a thing as a Gruffalo because Aaron is here with me now. Hello.
Here I am. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, oh, the Gruffalo, an iconic character. What is it like playing him, Aaron?
Honestly, it's like the closest I think I've come to feeling like a celebrity in my life so far. Just like when you come out and all the kids are just loving it, because my entrance is just like massive and big, and we have another song that kicks it all off, and you just see them all like have a little like gasp, or if they've got a little Gruffalo toy. Some of them the other day, a little girl had the book and she was just like holding the book. So it just literally feels like, yeah, a bit of a celeb. It's quite cool being a Gruffalo.
Do you know what? I get that. It is almost like being a bit of a pop star, because I did a show once with Mr. Tumble, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I swear the kids went absolutely wild. I've never seen such a reaction. But of course, the Gruffalo is the main man. We don't need Mr. Tumble when you've got the Gruffalo, because you've got a green kind of pimple on the end of your nose.
Yeah, my wart.
Terrible claws.
Got it all. He's got it all going on, the Gruffalo. Yeah.
The costume is really amazing, honestly, and I think, you know, that is great for the children to see it, because you come alive right in front of their eyes. but it does look quite heavy. What's it like moving around in it?
It's not too bad. Like, there's a bit of padding in it that, you know, gives like a bit, a bit more of a weight to the character. But in terms of like the weight of it, it's all right. It fits me quite well. It gets a little bit warm in there, but I'm used to that now. Like, it just becomes part of it. It's literally as soon as I put the costume on, like my whole mannerisms change, my body change. I do a little thing with the jaw, so it gives them like a little bit of the tufty feel. So it is quite magic when you put it on. You just do become the Gruffalo. It's hard to not speak like him and move around like him as well. And like and the kids love the costume as well. We had a parent come out one time and said like, we love the costume. We are glad it wasn't a scary costume. So that's like, yeah, like credit to the designers, the way they've made it, where it's quite flappy. It gives like a real nice effect when you're moving around the stage. Gives it a bit of like animation.
Because it is a physical role, isn't it? And you know, I think with it being there's just 3 of you in the cast, so it's quite physically demanding, I'd imagine. Yeah,
it's physically demanding for everyone. Like the mouse is on stage is like the pinnacle of the whole show. She is, you know, the one that you're looking at throughout the whole show. She hardly ever leaves the stage even. Al, who plays the Predators, and Anna, who also plays the Predators, they have 3 really main characters, all with a song, all that different physicalities, quick changes. And then, I come on, when I come on as the Gruffalo, it's just, you know, I've got to create this monster, this mythical creature. So yeah, it's good fun though. Like, it's hard work as it is. It's like, it's rewarding when you see the little ones and even the adults having a real blast with it.
Well, I've got to say, as an adult, I've got 2 kids. They grew up on the Gruffalo. I've done the voices myself. I'm sure every parent at home has done that one time or the other. And is that funny in itself? Because if I was watching it, all right, I'd be there going, oh, yeah, there's no such thing as a Gruffalo. And I would be wanting to kind of say that. Do you get some of the parents and kids kind of repeating the words?
That's like honestly one of the best bits is when they join in and they say the words along with the book. And it's just, that's when you know you're doing something that is like, it's world famous and it's so loved. And like, it's like crosses generations, like a good, I think like 20 years now it's been going. I remember reading it to my little sister when she was little. She's 17 now. But yeah, that's the magical thing about it is when they join in and you all become one. Like, we're telling the story, but we're also sharing the story with you as well.
And that's what I really, really like as well. Like you say, it's coming alive in front of their eyes, and you know, they can't get as close as this stage production.
I know.
And what I like that you've done as well is you've added original songs. So it isn't just because, you know, once that story's read, it is quite a short story, but it's 55 minutes long that you're on stage for, no interval. Take my hat off to you on that one. But the songs, isn't there, Aaron?
Yeah. There's loads of songs throughout. Each of the Predators have a song. The Mouse has a song. The Gruffalo has a song. And the songs are great because I think it gives the little ones like more of a chance to see these characters, because obviously in the book they come in and then the mouse scares them off. And so that's the beauty of having like, a bit of musical to it, because then the characters, you see them evolve a bit more. And you sort of like, you get to know them a bit more. So when they get scared again later, you can laugh at them, or, you know, you can feel a bit sorry for them or a bit scared. But it's nice to give them their moment in the show as well.
And it's not like, I suppose, like a pantomime or anything like that. I wouldn't imagine the Gruffalo gets a boo, does he?
Gruffalo gets a boo? No. I don't think so. I don't think I've been booed yet.
Good. Because I think there was that bit of us that was like, the Gruffalo, we like him. We really, really do.
Yeah. There's a bit where the mouse goes towards the end. Once she's finally scared me off, she goes, "Oh, it's a shame. I was beginning to like him." And you know, every now and then you get a few people going, "Yeah," because he is lovable. Like, he becomes lovable.
Definitely. Now you do 2 shows a day, don't you? And they are pretty much close together. I think it's a great idea because obviously the type of children that go are smaller children. So to have it at 11 o'clock in the morning and 1:30 is great. But how do you keep that stamina going? As I said, you know, there's no interval at all in 55 minutes. And then, gosh, a little bit out of the costume and then straight back into it.
Yeah, it's quite a nice balance now. I think we've all got into the rhythm of it. We're all very used to, like, you know, how we're working throughout the day. And I think we just try and treat it as like a 2-act show. So, you know, most of the time you'd be doing a show that's maybe 2 hours long. So we do one, 11 o'clock in the morning. we'll get changed, quick drink, a little snack, and then back into it. And actually, after a while, you do get used to just like the rhythm of it, and you keep yourself going, and the adrenaline stays with you. So yeah, it's hard work, but like I said earlier, like it's so rewarding, like seeing the kids enjoy themselves and love it. And like for a lot of them, it could be their first time at the theatre as well. So it's like, it's an amazing feeling to be able to like, be a part of that.
And how did you get started in this whole theatre world? Were you young, like some of the audience members, or was it something that, you know, you came to later on?
I remember doing school plays back in like year 7 and 8. I'd get involved in the musicals at school and did them like, across the years. And then I trained at drama school. And then, from there, I was out into the big wide acting world, and I got involved with the Gruffalo. October last year, we did a Christmas tour, and now we're onto the summer tour. So, yeah.
Wow. Oh, gosh. And, you know, this is the second to last stop. So, you know, what are you going to be doing after this, Aaron? Have you got any plans yet?
Not sure yet. There's a couple of things that, you know, might be coming up, but that's pretty much, part and parcel of the world the acting world we live in. So, there could be some things going on at Christmas. But it'll just be a wait and see what happens next.
And you know, I am a little bit of a Miss Marple on the sly, and I went onto your social media, and you know what, you have got a lovely wife who is in the theatrical business as well. Now,
she is. Let
me get this right. You're there at the Lowry in Salford at the moment, and if I have worked my Miss Marple head out, will be coming along to the Lowry very soon I'm really looking forward to this, the production of Ursula.
Yeah. She's coming up here with Fat Rascal Theatre the week of the 10th of September, because I'm actually coming back up because it's our wedding anniversary, our 1-year anniversary on our final night here. So I'll be coming back up to Manchester for a visit.
Well, I've got to say, it's a great place to celebrate your wedding anniversary. So you've been checking out Salford, and you're going to be telling us some great places to go when she comes up here with that, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We've been eyeing up. We had a lovely meal at Cafe Rouge the other day. We went to the Alchemist for a nice drink. It's a lovely area. It's so cool coming down here. And I love being by the water as well. I'm from Cornwall originally, so it's lovely being by the water. Yeah.
Well, the people of Salford will be loving you, and Manchester, because we love the Gruffalo, and it's great because it's still on for a good run. Yes, because you're only opened, what was it, the 30th or 31st of July?
The Saturday just gone.
Yeah, so you are here until the 21st of August. It is an absolute classic. I think, you know, it's going to be great. If anybody out there has got a family, you've got to get yourself down to go and see Aaron, and please,
most definitely. Please do come along.
Lovely. Cheer him on. We're all Team Gruffalo here.
Team Gruffalo, yes.
Always Team Gruffalo, always Aaron. What a wonderful guy there playing the part in the Gruffalo live on stage, and it's currently at the Lowry. Oh, do you know what? Perfect for the summer holidays, that one. Do get yourself down there. It's there for a good more few weeks. And talking about getting yourself down to the theatre, this week I decided that we would do an extended special of this. Yes, every week we give you greater Manchester theatre news, but as we're going from the summer and possibly thinking as well about what is coming up in the autumn season at our wonderful theatres across greater Manchester, I've got a bit of an insight of what to look forward to. Are you ready for this, guys? Well, first up, we have got this Jim Cartwright classic. Now, the cast has just been announced for this. It's coming on at the Oldham Coliseum from the 16th of September and running to the 1st of October. If you've never seen Road before, then you are definitely in for a treat. This is a debut play of the wonderful writer Jim Cartwright, and it is absolutely brilliant. It's set in a Lancashire street. You know, there's grit, there's drama, there's a lot of humour as well. And look at the cast. I mean, you've got Paula Lane in there from Coronation Street. You may recognise Richard J. Fletcher because he has played the Dame in numerous pantomimes at the Oldham Coliseum. He's going to be fantastic as the narrator in this play. And Will Travis is also starring in the play as well. You'll have seen him in all the This Is England. He is a brilliant actor. So yeah, that has been announced, which is very exciting. And that is coming, as I say, in September. And well, I've got to say, I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. I have actually been from the very first US show. Now, we know it's on in the UK. We're on to Series 3, and this is the official series tour. So, it is going to be absolutely fabulous. So you're going to go and see all the drag queens from Series 3 up close. Their costumes, their acts are going to be stunning, and it's doing 2 nights at Manchester's Opera House. So really is going to sell very, very quick, this one. You've got to wait till October, but definitely worth the wait. I will be winging myself down there definitely to see that series kick off. And something that we don't have to wait that long to go and see at the theatre is this. Now, you may have heard me talking about this. It's got me very excited. Identical is a brand new musical. Now, it opened this week in Nottingham. It got rave reviews across the board, and it's based on a book called The Parent Trap. Now, if that rings a bell, it's because the book was made into a film back in, I think it was the 60s with Hayley Mills. Then it was in the 90s with a bit of an updated version, but the premise is still the same. It's about a pair of twins that go to camp. Now, they go to camp, and when they're there, they think to themselves, wow, we look very much like each other. And of course, that is true. They were separated at birth. One went off with one parent, one went off with the other parent. So their plan is now to reunite the parents. Does it happen? Well, you'll have to wait and see. But in the interim, there's some fantastic music, some so talented youngsters as well, and just a great storyline, which I think you are absolutely going to love. But hey, we've got a lot more than that for you. We have got a sneak peek behind the scenes at the very first photo shoot for Identical the Musical. And take a look. You're going to see the twins who are going to be winging their way to the Lowry when it comes.
If I became you and you became me, if we became one another, then I'd get to meet my father at last. Yes, and I'd get to meet my mother. We're birds of a feather, we're peas in a pod, we're Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Let's hope from the start they can't tell us apart. If I became you and you became me.
Oh, I love that song from Identical, and we are going to have more from the show later on in Live in the Hive, so do stay tuned for that one. Now, if musicals don't float your boat, then maybe plays do, and there's a cracker on the way at the Royal Exchange with Atri Banerjee directing. Now, of course, Atri put his own stamp on Hobson's Choice. He's now doing it on the Tennessee Williams Classic. And here he is, just to tell you exactly what you might expect.
The Glass Menagerie is a play that's 80 years old, but I think in the themes that it speaks of, it is very universal and very contemporary. So our intention is definitely not to treat it like a period piece. But I think by treating it like, almost as if it were a new play written today, and that's through the costuming, that's through the design, that's through the sound and music we're using, that's in the way the actors are performing as well. Hopefully it'll feel like a production that exists firmly in the here and now and feels very contemporary. I think that's really important, that classics and classic plays aren't done in a way that feels like they've got loads of the dust of performance history accumulated over them. We really want to strip away that dust as much as we can and make a version that feels present and contemporary. Not changing the words. I'm not saying we're going to change any of Tennessee Williams's words, because I do think what he's written is beautiful and powerful and strong, but in the way we frame it, it's going to feel very contemporary, I think.
Yeah, I think inherently as well, Glass Menagerie, because it's Tom talking to whoever he's in a room with, whenever that is, it always feels like it's currently happening. So actually, yes, we are going to be making it contemporary in terms of its aesthetic and its treatment, but also as a play, it is inherently happening today.
Not only does the Royal Exchange put on fantastic productions like The Glass Menagerie, but they also invest in talent too, young or old, and it's never too late to go and tread the boards.
Are you curious about theatre?
Do you want to make new friends?
Would you like a creative challenge?
Then the Elders Company might be for you.
The Elders Company is for people who's 60 plus.
We take part in regular sessions to develop skills, learn more about the theatre, and to work intergenerationally with the young company.
You might have a lot of experience.
Or no experience.
You don't have to be an expert.
And everyone can take part. It's been a real confidence booster being part of this group for the last 12 months. I've met so many interesting people. I've built relationships with lovable people, and we've worked together and had a great time.
The building is so big, it's so huge when you walk in. And somebody who's very anxious like I was, you think, oh my God, you know, but the staff is welcoming. So that brought your anxiety down.
Coming as something of a novice to acting, yeah, I've certainly learnt a lot. We perform together, work as a group, and fundamentally just have a great laugh.
And as we're funded by the GMCA, the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, we prioritise people who live in the Greater Manchester area.
We want the Elders to reflect the breadth and the diversity of our city region.
So, the Arts Pot can support people with travel, course and access costs for anybody who needs it.
Curious?
Then come along to one of our taster sessions to find out more.
And next year,
this could be you!
I really do think that is a great initiative. And if you want to find out more, do check out the Royal Exchange website, and it's got loads of information on there. Now, something that's got me very excited is an event that's coming up at Hope Mill Theatre. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I know there's been lots of interest in it, but there's still a few tickets left on sale. What am I talking about? Well, the one-woman show Rose, starring Dame Maureen Lipman. And on this particular night, you get to see an after-show discussion with the one and only me. Yes, I have the pleasure of hosting the interview after the show with Dame Maureen Lipman, and it's going to be a chance to get up close and personal like you have never done before. If you want a reminder, here's what I had to say about it a couple of weeks ago. I can reveal that this event is going ahead on the 8th of September, and honestly, this is a great opportunity to get up close and personal to one of the most fantastic actresses we have here in the UK. I'm talking about Dame Maureen Lipman. Now, she's coming back to Hope Mill Theatre with her one-woman show that is called Rose. You might remember it was an absolute hit last time it came to Hope Mill. It's Martin Sherman's play. It's very poignant, it's very powerful, and so much so that Sky Art ran a showing of it that you could see on your TVs, and it was just incredibly moving. Her performance in this is unbelievable. Now, the tickets are £39.50, which is an absolute steal because that involves actually the show and then this amazing Q&A afterwards. So you will get to see Dame Maureen Lipman, interviewed by myself. I'm very honoured to be doing this. It's going to be a great chat. She'll have so many stories, I imagine, to tell you all about. What a wonderful woman, and an incredible opportunity to see her, as I say, up close and personal. It's raising money as well for a brilliant project, Elia Youth. So, you know, that's another reason really to support this night. If you are interested, all the details you can see up on screen there, and I hope to see you on the 8th of September. Oh, I'm very excited to be hosting that event. I think it's going to be a really special night, and I imagine Dame Maureen Lipman has more than a few stories up her sleeve, which are going to be very entertaining. And of course, the money is going to a fantastic organisation. Now, moving theatres, I'm going to be telling you about what's coming on at the Lowry, and it is something that is very interesting because a couple of months back, I interviewed a wonderful actor called Alexis Gregory, who had written a brilliant show called Riot Act. Very, very powerful. He was touring up and down the country with it, and he mentioned he would be bringing it stream version to the Lowry, and lo and behold, it is fast upon us. So I thought we'd take a look at my interview with Alexis to remind you what it was about, and it spans 6 decades of the LGBTQ plus community and their history. Take a look.
It's history, it's important, but also with this show, we follow the 3 characters. That's Michael, who was there on the night of the Stonewall riots in New York. He was 17 on his first night out in New York. It's very rare to find a survivor from that time. And I've interviewed him, and I play him in my show. I play a radical drag queen from the 1970s, Lavinia Co-op, who is still performing. And I play Paul Burston, a prominent activist in regards to AIDS, HIV, and gay and lesbian rights, as they were called at the time. Paul's now a very established journalist and author in his own right. So, yeah, we look at these moments in their lives and in the community's history, but we follow each character into 2022 as well.
Wow.
So in the case of Michael, we start with him as a 17-year-old kid, first night out, to being almost 70, and what he thinks of the younger generation and what he thinks of how history is being told.
And I think that's really important, because when you're seeing it through somebody else's eyes, it becomes more real. It's not like turning a page in a history book. It's actually, these were real people. They are still these real people. And they have these incredible stories that need to be told for us to progress.
Yeah, and it's really important they are seen as real people. So it's never just the facts with any of the 3 of them. I find out about their childhood. I find out about their family. I find out about their struggles, their triumphs, their flaws. They might contradict themselves because these are real people. So the show is a mixture between the personal and the political. It's very funny. It's very bittersweet. It's outrageous. It's not a safe show. The characters don't hold back. They say some things that might make people have to question themselves. But that's important. And I think it's really important that we don't just show LGBTQ plus lives on screen or on stage that are all nicely and neatly tied up with a nice, pretty rainbow bow on them, because that's not life, you know, and we don't have to sanitize our stories to make them more palatable, A, to the community, or B, further outside of the community. You know, we shouldn't just be allowed in spaces as long as everything's nice and tidy and neat and just, you know, the easy option. I'm much more interested in opening up conversations that may not be ordinarily happening.
100%. And, you know, you have had ticks of so many critics along the way. You know, I've heard that the show has been called compelling, a standout piece of theatre. It's been captivating. And as you say, hard hitting. But how do you put that together? Because you're a writer and performer. You've done these interviews with these 3 incredible people. And I'm imagining the interviews weren't just kind of 10 minutes here or there. So how do you collect that information and make it a 1-hour show?
You're absolutely right. So hours of interviews per guy. Really, I just did 1 session with them, apart from Michael, who was in LA, and I interviewed him over Facebook video chat, and I had to do it twice because the first time I didn't record it properly. But I spoke to Michael twice. I spent an afternoon with Lavinia in Lavinia's flat, and then I spent an evening with Paul over dinner, bearing in mind Paul was also a friend of mine. And Paul is a writer himself, and he said that as I was interviewing him, he could see what I was doing. I was shaping the play and I was writing it as I was delving into their lives. I was saying, stop, 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 go back, tell me more about that. As I say, looking for the things that were contradictory, the things that were interesting, the things that I didn't know, the little bits of information that get lost over time, the little details that were new to me. For example, Paul, whose story focuses on the AIDS crisis, saying that when AIDS first came over to the UK, people were saying, don't sleep with Americans, don't hang out with American gay men because it's only the American gay men who've got it. You'll be okay. Don't go to Earl's Court because that's where all the gay American tourists used to go. It was the big gay area in the 80s. And of course, that seems very naive now, but I'd never really heard that before. Even the way that Paul spoke about the mid-90s gay scene and how that was almost post-AIDS as the medication started to come through and it was starting to get brushed under the carpet. And there were new generations coming through saying, we don't want to live under this threat. And it's very interesting because that's when I first started going out into clubs and things like that. And I worked it out with Paul. We were probably in the same clubs many, many times, but never met. And I was just like, oh, I was still at school. I was sneaking in underage. But Paul was a good few years ahead of me and having a very different experience. Yeah. And Paul talks about, he was processing his trauma on the dance floor. He was saying that the party scene that really went next level in London in the 90s was a reaction against all those years of grief. I thought, wow, that's so interesting. I was going into that scene, but for different reasons, because it was an escape from school and all these kind of things.
And all of this is kind of relived on stage. And as a performer, you know, it must be very challenging physically as well, because it's a one-man show and you're putting on one character, then you're moving up to, I mean, let's take a look at the trailer and see you in action.
There was something about gays and Judy Garland.
There's something about drag.
AIDS made us visible. Being an actor was really good fun.
I want to live. I want to survive.
How I managed to survive it in London as an older person. You couldn't give a
whack the cop on the head with it.
These things still happen.
The gays started fighting back.
Are you gonna do the voice?
I finally found a home.
Oh, what a powerful trailer there. Alexis Gregory with Riot Act. And as you can see from that, the online streaming show of it is going to be absolutely amazing. It will feel like you're in the theatre with Alexis on his one-man production. Fabulous. And you can download that from the 22nd of August. So just go and visit the Lowry website and that'll tell you exactly how to do that one. And now that's all we've got time for this week, I'm afraid. I do hope you enjoyed the Greater Manchester Theatre special. Maybe it's whet your appetite to go and book a few shows in the coming weeks. And also a great big thank you to the Gruffalo himself, of course, Aaron Dart-Munro. He was absolutely brilliant. And of course, if you do want to go and check out what's going on across Greater Manchester this week, maybe you want to find out where to take the kids, maybe where to drink, where to eat, or where to go and see a show, all of it is in one place. It's at the I Love Manchester website just below there. And of course, you can always follow us on our social media pages. We're at Live in the Hive 21, and especially this week I am going behind the scenes at the Osmonds musical, so there will be quite a few nuggets to look out for and a bit of a special next week including that. But yes, have a great week. I'm going to be back here on the Facebook page of Live in the Hive and I Love Manchester next Sunday, bringing you all the theatre interviews, news and a bit of gossip. Until then though, I'm going to leave you with another sneak peek at Identical the musical. Take a look at this and I'll see you next week.
They say that summer camp can change you, and if to survive.